Coffee. I start every morning with a cup of coffee. It's not that I need the energy jolt or the caffeine right away. I usually sleep really well most of the time, and literally, I jump out of bed every morning. It really scares my girlfriend. Sorry, Emily. It's the process of making coffee that gets me excited. It's what making coffee for my morning represents, because coffee is a new day. It's a new chance. It means that I'm about to edit or write or dreamline, that stuff is all right around the corner. And it means that my future is right next up. Coffee's kind of like the gatekeeper for my day. It's the ritual that I have to pass before I'm allowed to charge at any one of those things that I love doing so much in the morning. So I do it the same way every single time. Creamer. No, not too much creamer. Okay, 2 Splendas. Always after the creamer. Non-negotiable. It tastes different, you have to do it before. So yeah, coffee. But this isn't about coffee. It's about learning how to love the little things. I'm about to contradict myself hard because I don't think that anything is really little. I mean, at least not in the way that we use that word. We tend to think of little as something with few quantity, but the amount of something that you have doesn't have anything to do with its size. Little things don't have little meaning. You know what I mean? The nothing is little. Even the smallest things are full of depth. Think of an atom. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of atoms on a single grain of sand. And it's widely debated on the internet that there are more atoms on a single grain of sand than there are stars in the universe. And I'm going to spare you from the rest of the examples that I had to talk about how small atoms are, and I'm going to save you that existential crisis because I think you get the point. But you've got atoms, right? They're so small, but they're so full of depth. And it doesn't stop there. An atom is made of protons and neutrons and electrons, and those subparticles have their own subparticles. You get the point. What does little even mean then? An atom is full of depth. It is so small, but it is so complex. And honestly, if you're going to make any argument at all, I would say that the smallest things have the most meaning, because the smallest things by definition are the most complex. An atom has all of these bits and pieces going on around inside of it because it's the operant, it's the vehicle for everything else. The difference between a small system and a big system is just that a big system is comprised of a ton of those tiny operants. But at the end of the day, it's that low level. It's those little things that are driving the entire system forward. So why am I going off about coffee and quantum mechanics? Because the little things rule our world and ourselves. And if you're constantly downplaying your small efforts, you're never going to be able to take advantage of the big opportunities you have in this life and scale them into big impact changes. See, the little things are just small enough to justify us not noticing them or ignoring them. But it's precisely your ability to control and observe those patterns in your life that's going to lead to your ability to take advantage of them. So in trying to figure out all the ways that I've slowly undermined myself by not caring about my tiny improvements on my efforts to capitalize on those little things, this is what I've learned. Get curious. If you're curious, you will find depth everywhere. All the tasks of your life, even the seemingly mundane and boring like brushing your teeth, you'll be able to get curious, get super deep, go dive, ask yourself how that makes you feel and why you're doing that activity. That's gonna add so much texture to your life because you're gonna be contextualizing all your activities. Essentially, you're gonna start making a story out of everything that you're doing and everything that makes you who you are. And that's gonna make life way more fun. Children are great at this. When we're young, we have an insatiable desire to go deep. We are hardwired for curiosity and learning. Have you ever had a conversation with a kid or maybe a young family member, and every time they ask you a question, it's just followed up with why? Why? Because they're hardwired to want to understand things and to get the big picture. Become a child with the way that you operate your life. Never give up because you just feel like you've understood something good enough. There's always another way to view it. There's always more depth to our experiences. And again, that's gonna make life way more fun. And not only is it gonna make life more fun, It's going to expand the breadth of the experiences that you can have, because when you open yourself to new ways of viewing the same situation, you're going to be expanding your perception. And over time, that expansion of your perception is going to allow you to see pockets in your thinking that you didn't have before. It's going to allow you to see different ideas that you didn't have before. And it's going to allow you to put together systems that ordinarily would be completely separate and completely blind to you. The little things become the big things. Remember our friend compounding from a few weeks ago? I'm going to bore you again. Compounding is not just something that you see with money. It happens with our relationships, our health, our wealth, our happiness. Essentially, the more that you think something, the bigger it's going to become. The more effort that you put on a pattern, the stronger and more down-packed it's going to become. So if you're constantly negative, eventually you're going to become more negative. If you're constantly positive, eventually you're going to become more positive. Our negatives and our positives will always have the opportunity to become larger than life. So you want to make sure that you're directing that energy in a way that is at least going to serve you. Don't direct your energy towards negative thinking, towards pessimism, towards self-loathing. Focus on being happy and just trying to find the good in situations, even if there's not. Eventually, you're going to hardwire your brain to pick up on the good in situations. You're going to rebound from situations faster. I can't even begin to express the amount of positives that come from this. Just think well. Pour your thinking into a positive mental model. You don't want to go in a direction that's going to constantly drain you and hold you back. You want to go in a way that's going to elevate you and slingshot you forward. Let that curious perception go somewhere good for yourself. A million moments. When you start to view the world as a series of a million moments, as a series of a million little things, nothing is going to feel like the end of the world. Because you'll have had a million chances to succeed and a million chances to fail and a million chances over and over and over again to start anew. If you don't like who you are today, you're not going to feel like you wasted 5 years of your life being in a bad relationship. You're going to recognize that tomorrow's a new day. You're going to recognize that 5 minutes from now is kind of a new day. You're going to be able to take advantage of all the moments that we're given in this life because, spoiler, we're given a lot. You have a million chances to become the person that you want to be. Take advantage of them. Don't just let life pass you by. So yeah, coffee. But also conversations and presence and perception and meaning and breathing and sun and light and love. We all want to live enriched lives, but it's the little things that are going to make us feel the biggest. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Now, where's my coffee?